Classic first move for good reason. D4 fights for the center and opens up your dark squared bishop, mirroring your move and creating an even position. Defending your pawn and opening up your light squared bishop. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center, supports the d5 pawn, and controls the e4 square. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. They bring out their bishop, increasing their control over the center. That doesn't help development and creates holes around your king. They've moved the same piece again, which is less efficient for opening play. You are threatening to win a bishop by trapping a piece. You get a chance to win a bishop by trapping a piece. They missed a chance to eventually win a pawn. Good eye noticing that piece is trapped. They played one of the best moves here. You won a bishop for free. Attacking your pawn chain. That was a fair trade. A clear recapture. You kicked your opponent's piece from that square, moving their threatened knight to safety. That's a useful pin you found. Their bishop comes into play, attacking the center. Develops the knight and attacks the center. They made one of the top moves in this position. Very good choice. They castled kingside, placing their king. Your best move was to develop a knight and attack the center. A straightforward recapture. A logical capture. A correct move to get their rook out of harm's way. Your better option was to develop a knight and attack the center. They've brought their piece into play while forcing your bishop to retreat. Clearly, you don't want to leave your bishop in danger. You can pick up a free knight. You allowed the opponent to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. You had an opportunity to capture a free knight. They capture your pawn and will win material after all trades are completed. Your best move was to defend a pawn that was under attack. A clear recapture. Your better option was to move a queen to safety. You allowed the opponent to play a stunning move, ignoring the threat on the knight. Their better move was to create a pawn chain. You are now able to sacrifice a knight for a nice tactic. Your best move was to sacrifice a knight for a nice tactic. You allowed the opponent to sacrifice a rook for a nice tactic. Their best option was to take an open file with a rook. You allowed the opponent to win material through a fork. They missed a better way to win material through a tactic. You recaptured. This move puts their queen on a safer square. This move cuts off the check from the queen, keeping your king safe, moving their threatened queen to safety. You step your king away from the checking queen. I like their choice. You are losing a knight this way. They found a way to win material. You shield your king by blocking the check from the queen. A correct move to get their queen out of harm's way. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. That pin on your knight is decisive. They'll win it soon. This move makes your bishop much more effective. Capturing your hanging knight. The attacker is now off the board, keeping your piece safe. By moving too quickly, they missed the only good move in this position. Nice way to fight back from a worse position. You have to use your king in the endgame. That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. Not the best move, but not bad either. They defended their pawn, which was under attack. Your rook is now developed, bringing all pieces to the board. Their pawn attacks your queen, kicking it out of its current position. Nice, you found a way to win a pawn. Moving their threatened rook to safety. You had a better option, but this is not bad. This move protects their pawn, which was vulnerable with insufficient defenders. Well done, an excellent move. You had the upper hand, and now your position is winning. Your best move was to move a queen to safety. They move their king out of the check from your queen. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. That's playable. You can win a pawn with a fork. Very nice. They blocked the check from your queen. You won a pawn for free, defending their hanging pawn. Correct, of course. Move away from danger. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. Your rook has great control of the open file. Decent move, but they had a better one. Placing your rook on the 7th rank makes it more active. You can pick up a free pawn. You had an opportunity to capture a free pawn. You are now able to force eventual checkmate. You're still on the road to checkmate. They played one of the best moves here. Your move gets closer to checkmate. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. You had a checkmate, but this lets your opponent out of immediate danger. You get a chance to force eventual checkmate. You missed an opportunity to force eventual checkmate. A straightforward recapture. This is a fine move. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You captured a free rook. The king just stepped in to defend their passed pawn. This move will win a pawn with correct play. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. Very good choice. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You captured a free pawn. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. Not the best move, but not bad either. Their better move was to evade the check from the opposing queen. That pawn was yours for the taking. They made one of the top moves in this position. You captured that free pawn. This move doesn't help their position at all. You continue the checkmate attack. Their passed pawn is now defended. You're still on the road to checkmate. Pushing their passed pawn. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. I like their choice. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. Precise move from your opponent. You continue the checkmate attack. They played one of the best moves here. You could have ended the game sooner, but the win is still in your hands. That was the only move. Your move gets closer to checkmate. They played the strongest move available. You continue the checkmate attack. They made one of the top moves in this position. You're still on the road to checkmate. I like their choice. You continue the checkmate attack. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You're still on the road to checkmate. That was the only move. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. They move their king out of the check from your rook. You did it. Nice checkmate.